All right, people may join us along the way, and of course, we're recording this for anybody who can't make it this morning. But I've got with us Melissa Dravig. She is actually the owner of Open Here for You Concierge. I keep wanting to say doorstepping. Here for You Concierge. She is not selling software, so don't worry about that. She's helped us with a lot of things over the years. And she's one of those people who helps small business people to organize and get things going when you need to. But she's also great with social media and helping small businesses to get online. So I asked her to spend a little bit of time talking about the NextDoor app, and she's going to, whether it's today or another day, talk a little bit about Google My Business and some other stuff. So I'm going to leave it up to Melissa to talk about everything that you might want to learn, and she'll be able to answer some questions at the end. So it's up to you, Melissa.
So like Lauren said, my name is Melissa Draving. I'm the owner of Here for You Concierge. And so to get started, I want to talk about what exactly is NextDoor. So it's just basically a social network that for you and your neighbors. So each neighborhood has its own little local social networks. And mine is NextDoor North neighbors. And typically neighbors are using it to get recommendations to local professionals. So like a lot of times they'll look for contractors or different repair people on NextDoor because it's a hyper local social network. So you can get people that are really close to you recommending things. Whereas Facebook, you know, a lot of my Facebook friends are down in Bucks County. I, you know, people, friends and family that are all over the country. So if I were to ask for recommendations there, it's not as local of an audience. They also give a lot of updates about police activity, like why was there sirens? You know, my house got broken into. I saw this guy, you know, lurking around. And then sometimes people just post really pretty pictures. Maybe they'll post like a picture of their dog or, you know, some rabbits or like a beautiful scene that they saw at the park or something.
You know, and then, actually, Melissa, it's funny. We get NextDoor app messages all the time for our neighborhood, Schnecksville. And there was a bear, I guess, last year, and we got all sorts of notices going out to the entire neighborhood about that. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so if it like it's really useful for that because it's just your neighbors. So it's not it's like a quicker way to share these updates than other platforms. And you know, normally like I don't really have any Facebook friends that are like my actual neighbors. Like I have one girl that's down the street, you know, another girl I met from a walking group, but other than that, like I'm not connected to these people any other way. And then also like people use it to buy and sell their items. So, you know, just regular furniture, different, you know, vehicles, any kind of thing that you see on Facebook Marketplace, you'll see also on NextDoor. But it's a benefit because you're not messaging people in Allentown and in Easton and Bethlehem. You don't have to drive 20 minutes to get the stuff or, you know, meet up with people that are far away. So the real benefit to NextDoor is it being so local to your neighborhood. So the first thing that you would do is if you haven't already set up a personal account, you need a personal account first, which I did learn that you can set up a business account without having a personal account. But to me, I think that the real value comes to having a personal account and a business account on NextDoor, because like Lauren said, you're going to get those updates from the bear in your neighborhood. You'll be able to interact with people as yourself. And you can also like salt and pepper in that, you know, you're a local realtor too. So the business account is going to be linked up to the personal account. So you'll be able to switch through back and forth. And this is just how to set up an account. It used to be that you used to have to get invited through a postcard. Like when we moved here, I got a postcard in the mail asking me to join NextDoor, which was really cool. That's how I found it. But you don't have to do that anymore. You can just create an account and find your neighborhood. And we did run into this with one of my clients down in Bluebell. She didn't have a neighborhood set up yet. So she had to set up a neighborhood herself. So she kind of didn't want to do that. So she just said, I'll just use it for business. So there's a lot of, you know, fields like your address, your phone number, this and that. And they are going to send you confirmation, verification postcard in the mail to make sure that you actually live there, because they don't want people that do not live in that neighborhood to try to join that neighborhood, try to scam the system basically. So you have to verify a lot of verifications, verify your email address, verify your address, stuff like that. So then once you have your personal profile, this is mine. It kind of looks like this on the back end. And over here is the different, sections. You have home, which is like your Facebook feed type place, discover, which is a bunch of different types of posts and information that people put on. Your for sale and free items, notifications, which once you join NextDoor, you will get a lot of notifications from it. I get emails like almost every day about posts that my neighbors are doing. And it's kind of frustrating because you have to sign in to see what they're doing. So you have to stay signed in. And then messages, people can private message you. And I can make a post here myself, which I apparently have never done that. So here we go. So here's up here on the right, this is how you'll toggle back and forth between your business and personal page. So I used to have a NextDoor page about Here For You Concierge on here, but it's been inactive so long, I think that they just deleted it. So I guess you have to watch out for that because I had to go through the whole setup process again for my business page. And this is everything that they wanted. It took a while. It took like half an hour to set it all up. So they needed the name of my business, the business address, public contact, like phone number, email address, my business categories, which they had like a pre-populated list. And I had to choose three, however many options you want, but probably be just one or two for you guys. I needed to add a logo, which I used my profile picture. I used a headshot instead of a logo, and it's 500 by 500 pixels. So I used Canva to resize my headshot because they're obviously very large images when you get a professional headshot. So mine had to be resized down to 500 by 500. And then I also had to make a cover photo, which it took me a little bit, but I think that this 500 by 360 pixels was about the right size. So I also used Canva to create that, which is a free software. It's like, I don't know if you guys used it before, but it is like the design software for people that don't know graphic design. It's very user-friendly. There's a free and a paid version. I have a paid version, which is like $10. Gives you access to more images and more tools, but the regular version is fine for this. And then there's also a cool little section to share your story and what makes you different, and a photo there. And then you could also share a bunch of photos. So I think up to 10. So here's what I did. Here's my little cover image. I definitely could have spent more time on this, but I was just trying to set it up so I could show you guys. So here's my profile picture, my cover photo. And then it actually made me verify my business. So this is new. I had to upload business documents to show that I'm a real business and not, a fake business in order to make posts on here. So they wanted my my EIN letter from the IRS, so I had to scan that and send it to them to be able to post on here. So that's new. And then down here you can see I had two different recommendations in the past. One was from Jonathan Epstein, and he said he recommended me, I forget, probably for organizing. So anytime you get recommended, you'll be able to see that down here at the bottom. So we have the same kind of like different sections. We have your page. So this is your public profile, your ads. So they do want you to run ads on here. This is like the biggest reason I think that they support business profiles, is because they want you to run ads. And they're not very expensive, but I mean, we had one client that was running ads on here, and for our kind of business, it's not very effective because people don't know what we do, but certainly nice to have a targeted advertising. You buy specific zip codes basically, and it's only like a few $100s per each per month. But if you're going to do ads, you also need to do posts. So you get 2 posts per month. You get another inbox, and here's your reputation where you get recommendations. So here's what I was saying about your story, you know, how you started, what you specialize in. Upload a picture next to that, and then you can put more pictures down here. And then if you want to have somebody manage your page, you can toggle this on, and you can set up somebody else to manage your page. So like my clients, they could set me up to manage their page, or you could set up whoever you have helping you with social media to manage it. So like I said, the posts are probably one of the biggest things that you want to be doing if you're going to invest time into setting all this up and using it. So they give you a limit. You only get 2 posts per month. So I had my one client, he's a roofer. We just started doing posts for him on here. And I realized yesterday was the last day of the month. I hadn't used up the second post. So I went and threw a post up on there. I just used the same Facebook post that we did. I just went through them all, saw what the last, you know, Facebook post was, and threw it up on NextDoor, because it's a different audience from people that liked his page on Facebook versus all of his neighbors, which he probably doesn't know. And it's just it's a simple post. It's a headline, a body, a photo, and then you choose this. So like I usually choose the largest radius. Like I think it's 2 miles from me. And so when you get everything set up for your business, you just are going to use, you still want to use your personal and your business account. So the ways that you can do this, when you get somebody asking for recommendations, I think this is a really good opportunity for realtors, because as a realtor, like I give weight to the recommendations that like a realtor would give me, because I know that there's someone who works with plumbers, works with landscapers, you know, works with contractors all the time for different properties. So you probably have more experience to who's good and who's bad. So if somebody's asking for a recommendation to a plumber, you could just say, yeah, I'm a realtor and we use Joe's Plumbing for clients all the time. So, or, you know, movers, that's a great one. We use LV movers all the time in our real estate office, and they do a great job. Or you could say, sometimes people will ask for recommendations for realtors. So it's always better if somebody else is recommending you instead of you saying I'm recommending myself. But you could still throw your name in there, say, you know, I'm a realtor with one of the top offices in the area. Our team has sold other houses in your neighborhood over a list price. Be happy to meet with you or talk with you on the phone to try to strike up a conversation. Because in our list,
Can I add one thing, Melissa? So if you're listing a house in your area, the other thing you can do is post onto the NextDoor app. I have a listing coming up in the neighborhood, and then when it goes on the market, just an FYI, if anybody wants to stop by, I have an open house on a property in the neighborhood, and then when it sells, just let everybody know that. Again, kind of reminding them that you're in the real estate industry, but you're doing that to a neighborhood. And when these things spread, I mean, everybody in my neighborhood happens to be on this same NextDoor app. And again, the personal account is actually free.
well, the business account's free too.
Right. The business account is free too. If you want to advertise, you can, but you don't have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great idea. So you could use your 2 posts a month to do to show that your listings and a photo, or you could just do a text-based post. I think most of the personal posts, I don't know if there's ability. Yeah, I guess there's ability to add a photo there too. So you could even just post your listings from your personal profile too. Because for me, you know, like I really love my neighborhood that I live in, and you know, if a house goes on sale, like, you know, right down the street, I mean, I'd be very interested to check it out. Like my neighbors, we live in a triplex, and every time one of my neighbors sells, I like want to see how much it is and see if, you know, I'm in the position to buy it, because we just love living here in Emmaus. So that's a great idea, Lauren. Also, you can post to recommend other local businesses that you just work with. So that's another way to kind of like show, you know, I'm a realtor, but not being like, you know, use me as your realtor in a direct way. You could say, oh yeah, we just want to give a shout out to these amazing landscapers, came out on short notice, put in some flowers for a house we're listing. You know, if you need landscapers, they're great, use them. So that's like kind of a, you're not just coming out and saying it, but you are telling people on the back end, I'm a realtor. So maybe they'll friend you or, take a look at your other posts. And you can also friend people too. I just went and I connected with like all my, like the girl I know down the street and my husband and my mother-in-law and father-in-law who all live with me. So I don't know why, but you can also friend people. And then on your business profile, you want to use all of the posts that they are giving you. So if you can get those 2 per month up, use them. And then you can also get recommendations from your clients. So if somebody does find you on NextDoor, then ask them at the end for a recommendation on NextDoor. Like I think I have 4 people that liked my profile on NextDoor so far. So it just gives you more credibility. But you definitely want to keep your information up to date. Like I said, they just totally wiped my profile away. And I don't know, I think it's been only like a year or 2 since I posted on my own profile. So make sure you're going in there and, keeping it active so it doesn't get just like erased. And then lastly, of course, you can advertise, but we really haven't seen a lot of return on investment from the advertising. Like I was just doing it with the one client, and our industry doesn't typically get a return on advertising. But all these things are just, they're more like brand recognition. Like if you see somebody's name over and over and over again on NextDoor, start to kind of register it in your mind. And then when you see their sign on your neighbor's lawn, you're like, oh yeah, I did, that sounds familiar. Like I know that person somehow. So that's really the benefit to using NextDoor is getting your name out there more and more, getting trust built up in your community. And of course, it being so local that it's just your neighbors. So who has questions besides Lauren? No, Lauren can ask questions too.
I don't have any questions because I'm already on there, not as a business, but and I do advertise, not advertise, but make comments. Oh, I'm a realtor and this is who I've used and blah 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 blah. So
is it does that help? Do you ever like people ever message you or anything like that?
They'll thank me for the recommendation, but have I gotten a lead to list a house? No, not yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, set up the business profile and start getting those posts in. You start getting more recognition and keep building it up.
It's kind of like with your social network. You always feel badly if somebody that you are related to or know lists with someone else because they forgot you were in real estate. You want to make sure everybody that's in your area, whether you're in Emmaus or Schnecksville or whatever area you happen to be in, knows that there is somebody right around the corner that's in real estate. They really do like that. They tend to use the person who's close if they can, if they don't already have a recommendation. So it's been pretty effective for some agents building leads and building some traction in their own neighborhoods. Also, it used to be when you listed a property, you went up and down the street like 10 houses in each direction and you dropped off hey, we just listed this house card or something like that. This is a little bit faster. As more and more people are on apps like this, you're seeing, and they're communicating back and forth. Like I said, actually, everybody in my neighborhood, for whatever reason, is on this NextDoor app. So as they join something like this, it's reminding them that you're out there. Other questions on this?
Absolutely. Staying in front of the people and reminding them what you do on a regular basis is a great way to,
Right.
Once they have that need, they'll think of you first instead of thinking of someone else.
True.
I'm having difficulty because I live in a rural area, so I don't really have a neighborhood. And I tried to join another neighborhood with another address that I own, but it's not finding that community. So I think I need to call support on it. It's my situation's different.
And you can start a neighborhood too. I mean, if like when you start a neighborhood, they give you the option to send like they'll send postcards out to all of your neighbors in that area. So, if you're in a rural area, there's less people, you might want to set the biggest like distance around your house. But that is an option too. So
Okay.
yeah, I think basically it's just, you say, I'm gonna start a new neighborhood, and then they say, do you want to send postcards out to your neighbors? And you say yes, and they send them out for you.
Okay.
Incidentally, if you want to join two neighborhoods and you've got two addresses you can use like that, you actually also have to use two email addresses to create the accounts.
That's probably the issue I'm having. So,
And they do have a lot of good help articles. Like I pulled the one up about how to set up your profile. This is right off their website. So here's their support articles. So if you're having trouble, like I think that I did read on support that it is possible to join two neighborhoods. I'm not sure if you have to have two different addresses, but they have a lot of information on there. So, I mean, I'll read through them and see if you're having a struggle like that. But I think that they also do have support, but it's probably going to be email support. I don't know
yeah.
that you have a real person on the phone, or you might
They
be-
they also said I needed to send my deed. Which
yeah,
I
they
thought
want to verify everybody. I mean, this is new to me that they want your, tax stuff to verify
right.
business so you can post. That's new. But I
It's-
feel like
If you set up a business page, by the way, and they ask for an EIN number, you wouldn't necessarily have one as an independent contractor, but you can probably upload a copy of your license, and I
yes.
would think they would accept that.
Okay.
On your business profile, you can, I don't know if you guys, if it's makes sense for you realtors, but you can add like a license number right on your business profile. So, but yeah, they gave me like a list of all these documents I could send them, and that was the easiest one for me, was the tax letter. But then, they have to review it, so they said it's going to take 48 hours for me to be able to post anything on there. So, but a lot of companies are doing this new verification thing because of spam. And like on eBay, I just had to put in a bunch of information and verify my bank account. Like it used to be, you just got PayPal, and anybody can set up an eBay account to sell something. And now they're like, no, you got to be a real person. We need your information.
Well, part of that has to do with taxes also. In case you don't know, by the way, if you're getting any payments by Venmo or over PayPal or something else, as soon as you cross $600, they have to file a notice with the IRS that you've earned money. So if you're getting money by Venmo, it's going to start showing as income, because they're, of course, trying to get more money out of you at the government level, the federal level. So just a forewarning if you happen to be getting lots of money selling stuff over using Venmo.
Yes.
Any more questions about NextDoor? Okay, the next thing I want to mention, by the way, Melissa, we're going to do another event on Google My Business, right?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, so one thing I want to mention on Google My Business, if you haven't done this yet, it's kind of cool. Google controls most of what you look at on the internet, it seems like these days. And obviously, as you know, on your phone app, both Facebook and Google are tracking everything you do. And I've repeated this before, I'm going to say it one more time. If you've got Instagram or Facebook on your phone, it tells Instagram and Facebook, because it's the same company, where you go, what stores you walk into, because it geolocates your phone. It tells them what news articles you open. It tells them what you search and what your search terms are, and it builds a profile on you, and that's how it sends supposedly relevant ads to you. Now, we tap into that by paying them to push some of our listings in front of people that might be searching Zillow or Googling properties and stuff like that, but it tracks everything. Now, one of the things Google does, so be careful what you search, because you'd be surprised what they find out. So on Google My Business, one of the things that we found that's worked really well, and there are some companies around the country doing this, and I don't think there's a lot of people around here doing it. You can create your house as your own personal real estate business. Please don't use the office address, because you co-op our ad. But each of our offices has a Google My Business site set up. Now, let's say Jane, for example, lives in Buck Hill Falls. If Jane sets up her house as Jane Wuchter, your personal real estate professional, Century 21 Time, and puts that on Google My Business and puts her website on and so forth, that's a free thing to do. They're going to send you a postcard verifying that you actually are there, because they want to make sure that they're not putting something down that doesn't exist. And once you show up on that, if somebody is searching Buck Hill Falls real estate, not only is it going to show Zillow and Century 21 and Realtor.com in the searches, but it's going to show a map, and that map's going to show the local realtors, and it'll put little asterisks where they are. And you become the realtor on the page. And as you click on it, just like businesses, like restaurants, when you search restaurants in your area, you see that little map that shows up, and you can click on them and see what the restaurants are. This puts you on the map for your personal real estate business, and it shows you as local. And because it's powered by Google, it's very, very likely to show up. So I'm going to try really hard over the next couple of weeks, and we'll do another workshop with Melissa showing how to go through and actually create some of these. But if you can take the time to try and search Google My Business, again, do not use the office address, use your home address, use your cell phone number, and try and put together a Google My Business page on yourself. Again, it's going to send you that postcard. You're going to get a PIN number that you can set it up with. And that is going to hopefully put you on the map so that when people are searching an area, they're more likely to find you and find your website, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, personally, I love Google My Business profiles. Like I tell all the business owners I work with that they should definitely have it. And that's where you should put your time and energy, because I've had people find me on Google My Business and call me up and become clients, unlike some of these other social media platforms. And it's free profile. And like you said, it's searchable and it comes up on the right-hand side of Google. So it's not like you're not necessarily competing with all the people that have ads and organic search results. You have like your own section. And my generation, I feel like we really heavily rely on Google My Business. Like Google Maps is what it is. They're starting to switch it over now to call it Google Maps search or something. They want you to go somewhere else. So it's one of those ones they make changes on, but you can also do posts and you can list all your services, and the more information you put in there, the more likely you are to come up. So I'm looking forward to that.
We'll be talking about a lot of stuff over the next couple of weeks, LinkedIn and some of the platforms you can be on. I don't want to overwhelm you either. By the way, there are software packages. I use something called heropost.io, but you can post to multiple platforms simultaneously. It costs a little bit of money to buy the software, but you can post to multiple sites simultaneously to stay out there in front of people. But it's important to connect with everybody you possibly can. Your social network on Facebook, the business community, if you're trying to do something in business in the area, in LinkedIn. And then to try and narrow it down to your neighborhood, you've got the NextDoor app. And again, try and come up on every search you possibly can. And one of the ways to do that is Google My Business. It's just a powerful tool. We know it when we're searching restaurants, but I want you to try and look at it when you're trying to search real estate companies and see what actually shows up. So the more little pinpoints that are out there, the more likely somebody is to find you personally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, any other questions at all? All right. Thank you all for joining us today. Anything you need or any questions you have, please reach out. And by the way, if you need a personal concierge, we've got Melissa here. She is happy to do stuff. She's not free, by the way, but she is happy to do stuff, and she's wonderful at handling all sorts of tasks, even taking your photo albums and converting them into digital photos.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Then I will see you in the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thanks.